Hey guys, shooting for fun here. Hey, what we're do today is a little upgrade on our Henry rifle, and we're going to be replacing the standard loop lever with a large loop lever. And we've already took the magazine out. We've emptied the gun. We've checked around, make sure we're clear, so our gun is safe. And if you have one of these, you notice with the standard lever, you can only get about 3 fingers in there. And I've got pretty small hands, and I can only fit about 3 fingers in there. So you only get about 2 to 3 fingers in this guy there. Now the large loop lever, if you look at it, I got my whole hand in there, okay? So I got plenty of room. And it's rounded at the front, so it's a little easier to mold to your hand. So you can get a better cocking action out of it. This one wouldn't have been so bad. The standard wouldn't have been so bad. But it just made it a little bit longer, where you could have gotten your whole hand in there. Alright, now we've got this. We ordered this large loop from Henry Repeating Arms, henryusa.com. And it comes with the lever and the lever pin, the new pin. And comes with a set of instructions on how to do it. Now for the ease of this video here, we've already taken some of the stuff out a little bit just to try to speed the video along. So we've taken our main bolt out here for the stock, so that your stock can just slide off. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to take these 4 screws out, 2 on each side that holds the cover piece on. Okay, so we're gonna take those loose. You want to be careful when you do this, because you don't want to gnar your bolts up, and it does have little star washers on there that you want to make sure you get off there. Don't lose those. You want to be careful not to bar the bolts up or end up scratching your cover there. And the last one here. Now, some of these jobs that you do on these guns are kind of hard to show, because it's just hard to get a good angle with the camera and everything like that. So my apologies there if I don't show it completely all the way there, but I'm trying to get it back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to rock this back. We're going to lift up on our bolt handle here. And once you get that so far back, you're able to just pull the bolt assembly out. We're just going to set it off to the side. And then your cover just comes off. There you go. Now, we've had it oiled up a little bit, so we're just going to wipe off that residual oil there. Okay, so there's the top part of our handle there. You can see it moving there as we rock it back and forth. Okay. Now, we've got 2 pins that we're going to be removing. This first pin right here, if you guys can see that there, there's a locking bar right there for the hammer. That locking bar, and there's a spring up underneath of that we're going to remove. And then going to remove the actual lever pin that holds the lever in right there. Okay. So this pin and that pin we're going to remove. Alright, now, what I recommend is if you have a little, one of these little blocks here, and your punch set, roll pin set, and a little plastic or rubber mallet. And just set this up here on the block. I'm trying to get this where you can see it there. Okay, now I held that down because of that spring underneath there. Right, when you pull that pin out, there's the locking bar piece. And if you can see down in there, hopefully, you'll see the hammer here swinging. And it's no longer being caught by the locking bar. And there's a spring right there. So we're just going to reach in and our punch here, and there's our little spring that we're going to keep out. Okay, now there's an indentation on the locking bar there that this pin sits in. That's how it sits in there. Okay, so you want to make sure that you can put that back in the same way. Okay, now we're going to take out our lever pin. Now notice we didn't take the pin all the way out. We left that in there just for the ease of being able to put it back in there. Okay. There we go. And then your handle just comes out. There you go. If you can see that there, you can pretty much see all the way down through there. Okay. We got our pin. Now since we've got a new pin that's going to come with our new handle, we're going to just go ahead and use the new one. Now our old lever here, we had a little leather wrap piece on there. We'll probably end up at some point in time wrapping our new handle. But for now, we're just going to go and leave it stock. But we're going to hang on to our old hammer here just in case we ever want to put it back to original. Okay, now, while you've got it apart there, you want to take a moment there to go ahead and lube up some of these internal parts that you don't normally get to very often. And I'm using my Remington rim oil and basically just a Q-tip here. And there's a little spot down here. If you can see that with the camera there, but that's where that spring sets in. And we're just gonna put a little. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could go in and kind of polish this a little bit, polish that run there. But you don't have to. Okay, so we're just gonna put a little bit of lube in there, make it functions a little more smoother there. Alright. Now what we're ready to do is we can put a little bit of lube onto our handle piece here. Just to make it function a little better. Okay. And we're going to position our there we go. Now that we got our hammer in there, we'll line up our hole here. There we go, and you can see we've got our hammer already back in there. Okay. Now we're going to re-put that locking block. We're going to put the spring in there. We're going to lube our locking block here just a little bit. Alright. So we're going to set our spring down in there. Okay. And just to hold that spring on there a little bit, we're going to stick it back on our roll pin there. And like I said, sometimes these are a little kind of hard to hold this thing for the camera and do it all at the same time there. Okay. So now we've got our spring, if you can see that, set back in there. Then we're going to put our now this is going to be where it kind of takes 2 hands here to do it. We're going to put our locking block in. And we're going to try to line our line up our hole there. Then get it back in there straight. So we're gonna tap that back out. And let me see if I can rotate the camera a little bit better here. Okay. Loop up our pin here a little bit. Try to get our hole lined up here. And what's happening here is we're getting our hole not lined up here before we can. There we go. Alright. Okay. What we had to do was we had to pull our hammer back. And there we go. Had to pull our hammer back a little bit to where it would free that up a little bit. Okay. So now we're ready to, we've got our installation done here. So we're ready to put it all back together. And what we can do at this time is, while we have the bolt out, we can take our bolt, do a little cleaning and greasing on it there. It's easier to do this stuff once you get it out than it is when you have to try to do all this stuff that's in the gun there. Now this part here, this part's important because when it slides back, this is what actually rolls back, and that this part here, that's what pushes the hammer back. So we're just gonna do our bolt up here really good. There we go. Okay, so what we want to do, and we can put this a little bit more. This is our hammer rod with our hammer spring here. We just kind of lube these internals up there a little bit. And we get our go ahead and cock this hammer back to get it out of the way, and put a little bit more lube here on the inside of our cover. So where our bolt slides in and out of. So put a little bit of lube on it. Go ahead and start this on. And we can put a little bit of on the side of the casing here just to help it go on a little easier. Now we're going to slide our bolt back in. Okay, there we go. Kind of hard to do all this from the side angle there, but what you want to do is you want to put your screws back in your cover here. Sorry, that took a little bit more involved there than what I thought, but I wasn't paying attention there and had the hammer in the way. Now I don't snug them up all the way just yet. I want to make sure that they all get in and get lined up and everything before you start snugging things down. Okay. Okay, now once you got everything screwed in there, you can go ahead and tighten those down good. You don't need to really put a whole lot of torque on them, you just need to snug them up good. Like I said, you don't want to end up marring your nuts up there, or the bolts where they get little sharp spots on them. Alright, and then we put our handle back on. Handle or stock. Okay guys, my apologies there on the video there. We ran out of memory there on our camera. But we did get it right there at the end there. We got our stock put back on. We got our cover put back on. We also have this little guy here, if you can see it. It's a little hammer extension because where we have our scope here, it's kind of hard to reach underneath there for your hammer, so that makes it a little easier to grab hold of your hammer with. And we exchanged our standard Henry loop, which if you can see there, we can only get 3 fingers in this guy. Okay, so it was hard to sit there and try to cock this thing. That's the reason why we went to the large loop. You see we got our whole hand in there. A whole lot easier to get your whole hand in there to cock that with. And there you have it. There's our Henry repeating arms. It's our H001. This is the T model. It's a octagon barrel. It is a great shooting little gun. There's not a whole lot of accessories out there for you. You can't put slings and different scopes. I got a rail mount where you can mount optics on, stuff like that. Um, you can change out your front sights, things like that. But what we did was we've added a cover to it, and this little leather cover that we made to go on it. Give it a little western look there. And on our old handle here, we had a leather wrap on here. And we'll probably at a later date probably put a wrap on this one just to kind of add a little cushioning to your hand there. And that's it, guys. That's our upgrade for our Henry rifle. Like I said, these are excellent shooting little guns. I highly recommend them. They just shoot flawless. And hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope everything came out there where you could see it pretty good. It's a really it's a pretty easy install there. You take the handle off, take your cover off, 2 pins. You take out your locking bar and your locking bar spring and your lever, and it's a real quick little install. If you're not doing it there for the camera, it's pretty easy to do. It's a little harder to do on camera, but glad you were there to bear with me there, and I hope everything come out, and hope it gives you a little insight there, some help if you wanted to upgrade your guns there. And I'm shooting for fun, guys. Thanks for watching.